What if everything you've been told about money, saving, investing, even retirement was built on lies? Imagine discovering that the very system designed to protect your future is quietly working against you. Introduction. Today, we're diving into Between the Lies: How to Reclaim Your Future from the Banks and Wall Street by Luke Tatum. This eye-opening book pulls back the curtain on the myths we've all been taught about finance and reveals a blueprint to take back control of your money. Tatum, a financial coach and infinite banking practitioner, challenges conventional wisdom and arms you with strategies to break free from dependency on banks and Wall Street. If you've ever felt trapped by debt, uncertain about your financial future, or skeptical of the advice that keeps you stuck in the rat race, this book is one you can't afford to ignore. Chapter 1: Myths in the Financial System. Let's be real. Most of us grow up hearing the same money advice on repeat. Save every penny, invest in the stock market, work hard, retire at 65. It sounds safe, it sounds responsible, but Luke Tatum says these ideas are more myth than truth. In this opening chapter, he pulls the rug out from under the financial stories we've been told all our lives. The first big myth is that banks and Wall Street have your best interest at heart. In reality, the system is designed to make them rich, not you. Every time you put money into a savings account, swipe your credit card, or follow the standard investing path, you're feeding a machine that profits off your effort. Another myth? That debt is just part of life. From car loans to student loans to mortgages, society normalizes being in the red. But Tatum argues this keeps people stuck, working endlessly to pay off interest instead of building wealth for themselves. And then there's the retirement dream. The idea that you'll grind for 40 years, invest a little in your 401k, and magically live comfortably in your golden years. Tatum points out how fragile and uncertain that plan really is. This chapter sets the stage for the rest of the book by saying, if you want true financial freedom, you have to stop buying into these myths and start questioning everything you've been taught. Chapter 2: Taking Responsibility. Most people blame outside forces for their money struggles, the economy, their boss, bad luck. Tatum flips that thinking on its head. He argues that the first step to real financial freedom is taking full responsibility for your situation. This doesn't mean beating yourself up for past mistakes. It means owning the fact that no one is coming to save you. Not the government, not your bank, not your employer. If you want change, it has to start with you. Tatum stresses that responsibility isn't about control over everything. It's about control over your decisions. You can't stop recessions or inflation, but you can decide how you respond. Will you follow the herd into more debt? Or will you start building systems that protect and grow your wealth? He also touches on mindset. Many people feel powerless with money because they've been conditioned to follow experts. Taking responsibility means breaking away from that dependency and believing you're capable of steering your own financial ship. By the end of the chapter, the message is clear. Responsibility is empowering. The moment you stop outsourcing blame and start owning your financial choices, you open the door to real freedom. This is the foundation of the truth blueprint, and without it, none of the other steps matter. Chapter 3: Reclaim Your Money. Once you've taken responsibility for your financial life, the next step is to reclaim your money. Tatum explains that most people don't realize how much of their hard-earned cash slips through their fingers, not because of bad spending habits alone, but because of the way the system is designed. Think about it. Every paycheck is hit by taxes before it even lands in your account. Then you've got interest payments on credit cards, loans, and mortgages. Add in fees from banks and investment accounts, and suddenly you're left with scraps compared to what you actually earned. Tatum calls this the silent drain on your wealth. Reclaiming your money means stopping that leak. Instead of handing it over to banks and Wall Street, you start building systems that let you keep more of it in your control. He hints at strategies like using cash flow differently, shifting how you save, and questioning where your money really goes each month. Another key point here is awareness. Many of us don't track where every dollar goes. We just hope the numbers work out at the end of the month. Tatum argues that if you want true freedom, you can't afford to be passive. You need to know exactly how much is leaving your pocket and why. By the end of this chapter, the message is clear. Before you can grow wealth, you first have to stop giving it away. Reclaiming your money is like plugging the holes in a leaking bucket. Only then can you start filling it up. Chapter 4. Undo your debts. Debt is so common today that most people treat it like oxygen. You can't live without it. Student loans, car loans, credit cards, mortgages, it all feels normal. But Luke Tatum argues that debt is one of the biggest traps keeping people chained to the financial system. In this chapter, he breaks down how debt quietly robs you of freedom. Every time you borrow, you're essentially giving away future income. That means years of your life are already spoken for before you even earn the money. Banks and lenders profit, while you're left working harder just to keep up with interest payments. Tatum challenges the idea that good debt exists. We're often told that mortgages or student loans are investments in our future. But he warns that even these debts come with risks that can derail your financial independence. What looks like an opportunity can quickly turn into a burden when circumstances change, like job loss, rising interest rates, or unexpected expenses. Undoing your debts doesn't necessarily mean rushing to pay them all off tomorrow, but it does mean making debt elimination a priority. The less money you owe, the less control others have over your life. Tatum emphasizes that freedom isn't just about earning more. It's about keeping what you already make instead of sending it to creditors. The chapter's takeaway is simple but powerful. If you want to escape the lies of the financial system, you must break free from debt. Because as long as you owe, you're not truly in control. Chapter 5. Transcend your expenses. At this point, Tatum has shown us how to reclaim our money and start breaking free from debt. But there's another piece of the puzzle, our everyday spending. In Chapter 5, he talks about what it means to transcend your expenses. Most people think of budgeting as cutting back, clipping coupons, or constantly stressing about money. Tatum flips that idea. He says the goal isn't to nickel and dime yourself into misery. It's to rise above the endless cycle of consumer spending. Think about it. Advertising and social pressure constantly push us to want more. New cars, bigger houses, the latest gadgets. It feels normal to spend everything we earn, and sometimes more. But that normal lifestyle keeps us trapped. Tatum argues that true financial freedom comes when you step outside of that game and start making conscious choices instead of emotional ones. Transcending expenses isn't about living like a monk. It's about aligning your spending with your values. Do you actually care about the shiny new car? Or would you rather have the freedom to travel, start a business, or work less? By shifting your mindset, you naturally reduce wasteful spending and free up resources to build wealth on your terms. The heart of this chapter is simple. Don't let expenses define your life. Instead of constantly chasing more, focus on what really matters. When you rise above the consumer treadmill, you'll discover that money becomes a tool for freedom, not just survival. Chapter 6. Help others. After walking us through taking responsibility, reclaiming money, undoing debt, and transcending expenses, Tatum ends the truth blueprint with something that might surprise you: helping others. At first glance, this might seem out of place in a book about money. But Tatum makes the case that true financial freedom isn't just about you. It's about what you do once you've gained control of your life. Helping others doesn't necessarily mean writing big checks to charities, though that can be part of it. It could be as simple as sharing knowledge, mentoring someone who feels stuck, or showing family and friends that a different way of handling money is possible. When you lift others up, you create a ripple effect that goes beyond your own bank account. There's also a deeper point here. Generosity breaks the cycle of fear and scarcity. If money always feels tight, it's natural to hoard it and think only of yourself. But when you start giving, whether that's time, resources, or wisdom, you shift into an abundance mindset. That mindset fuels not only happiness, but also smarter financial choices, because you're no longer operating from fear. Tatum's final message is powerful. Financial freedom is bigger than personal wealth. It's about creating a legacy, building stronger communities, and inspiring others to escape the same lies you broke free from. In short, helping others is both the last step in the blueprint and the key to making freedom truly meaningful. Chapter 7. Breaking Free from Wall Street Thinking. Up to this point, Tatum has been showing us how to take control of our personal finances. But in Chapter 7, he zooms out to tackle one of the biggest influences on how we think about money: Wall Street. From a young age, we're taught that the stock market is the way to build wealth. Just put your money in a 401k, trust the experts, and ride the market for 40 years. But Tatum calls this out as another lie we've swallowed. He argues that Wall Street is less about helping you grow your wealth and more about keeping you dependent on a system designed to benefit financial institutions. He points out how unpredictable the market really is. We've all seen how quickly crashes can wipe out years of gains. And yet, the common advice is always the same: stay the course. Tatum questions whether blind trust in a system that profits off volatility is really a wise plan for your future. Instead of treating Wall Street as the only option, he encourages readers to think independently. What if you could build wealth without relying on stockbrokers, mutual funds, and the endless roller coaster of the market? The idea here isn't that investing is bad. It's that putting all your trust in Wall Street is dangerous. The takeaway is simple: stop outsourcing your financial future to institutions that don't care about you. Real freedom starts when you question the normal path and look for strategies that keep you in control. Chapter 8. Building Systems of Control. If Chapter 7 was about breaking free from Wall Street's grip, Chapter 8 is about creating something better: your own system of control. Tatum stresses that freedom doesn't just come from rejecting bad advice. It comes from building structures that let you stay in charge of your money day after day. Most people's finances are reactive. A bill comes in, they pay it. An expense pops up, they swipe a card. Savings and investments are often on autopilot, with little thought beyond, "I hope it works out." Tatum argues that this lack of structure leaves people vulnerable, constantly at the mercy of banks, lenders, or the market. Instead, he encourages readers to build intentional systems. These systems might include how you save, where you store cash, and how you generate predictable cash flow. The point isn't to create more complexity, it's to design habits and strategies that make your money serve you instead of the other way around. Tatum also revisits the importance of liquidity and access. Too often, people lock their money away in accounts they can't touch without penalties or delays. Control means having access when you need it, without asking permission or waiting on Wall Street's schedule. By the end of the chapter, the message is clear. Financial control isn't an abstract idea. It's something you can engineer into your daily life. With the right systems in place, you stop living paycheck to paycheck or market swing to market swing. Instead, you put yourself firmly in the driver's seat. Chapter 9. Infinite Banking and Becoming Your Own Banker. This is where the book really digs into the strategy Tatum believes can change everything: the infinite banking concept, IBC. At first, the idea sounds almost too bold: become your own banker. But Tatum breaks it down in a way that shows why this mindset shift can be so powerful. Banks make money by lending out your deposits and charging interest. Meanwhile, you work hard, borrow from those same banks, and end up paying them back with interest. It's a cycle that always puts them in control. Infinite banking flips the script by giving you the ability to recapture that banking function in your own life. At its core, IBC uses specially structured whole life insurance policies as a tool. Unlike traditional policies, these are designed to maximize cash value you can borrow against. That means instead of taking loans from a bank, you borrow from yourself, and the interest you pay goes back into your own system, not into someone else's pocket. Tatum emphasizes that this isn't a get-rich-quick trick. It's a disciplined, long-term way to redirect cash flow so that you, not Wall Street or your bank, control the leverage. The key is building your own pool of capital that grows safely and predictably while still being accessible when you need it. By the end of this chapter, the takeaway is clear. Becoming your own banker is about reclaiming the power that banks have held over you your entire life. With infinite banking, you turn money from something that slips away into something that works for you permanently. Chapter 10. Putting the Truth Blueprint into Practice. After laying out the myths, mindset shifts, and the infinite banking strategy, Tatum wraps it all up by showing how to put the Truth Blueprint into action. This chapter is all about turning ideas into daily habits, so financial freedom isn't just theory, it's your reality. He starts by reminding us of the sequence. Take responsibility, reclaim your money, undo your debts, transcend your expenses, and help others. Each step builds on the one before it, and together they form a framework you can lean on for the rest of your life. Putting it into practice means starting small, but staying consistent. For example, tracking every dollar helps you see where your money is leaking. Setting up automatic transfers into your own system ensures you're reclaiming wealth instead of handing it over to banks. Even reducing one debt at a time creates momentum that snowballs into real change. Tatum also stresses patience. Financial independence doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. But unlike the shaky promises of Wall Street, the blueprint is designed to put you in control right now. Each intentional choice moves you closer to freedom and away from dependency. Finally, he circles back to the bigger picture, helping others. When you live out the blueprint, you become proof that breaking free from financial lies is possible. Sharing your journey not only strengthens your own resolve, but inspires others to do the same. The chapter closes with a call to action. Don't just learn the truth, live it. Because the sooner you start, the sooner you stop building someone else's wealth and start building your own. Conclusion. So, what's the big takeaway from Between the Lies? Luke Tatum isn't just pointing out problems. He's giving us a roadmap to take back control of our financial lives. The myths we grew up believing about money, saving, debt, Wall Street, retirement, don't have to define us. With the Truth Blueprint and strategies like infinite banking, we can reclaim our power, stop feeding a system designed to keep us stuck, and start building wealth on our own terms. What I really like about this book is that it's not just about dollars and cents. It's about freedom, mindset, and purpose. Tatum reminds us that money is only valuable if it helps us live the lives we want, and if we use that freedom to lift others up along the way. Of course, this summary is just the surface. The full book dives deeper into the details, the examples, and the practical tools you'll need to actually put these ideas into practice. If today's breakdown sparked something in you, I highly recommend grabbing a copy and exploring it for yourself. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss future audiobook breakdowns. And I'd love to hear from you. What financial myth do you think has held you back the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for listening, and remember, freedom with money starts when you stop believing the lies.